Hey there, Suzi here. If you've built a business and you are still the one holding everything together, even though you have a team, it may not be about your strategy. It could be about your identity. Join me for Close the Identity Gap. It's a free live masterclass I'm running for established women business owners who are ready to move from being a hands-on operator to being a strategic leader. It's happening on Thursday, the 20th of August at 10 a.m. Sydney time, and you can save your free spot at closetheidentitygap.com. Now, let's get on with the show. Hey there, welcome to another episode of Her Business. This is an Ask Suzi episode where I answer a question from one of our listeners. And today's listener, I'm not going to give you her real name. It starts with an F. We're going to call her Faye. And it's a question that I think you'll relate to. Here's what she said. She said, I am feeling a bit tired and overwhelmed from events outside of business. Is there a great mindset or action tip that can take me back into focus for even the smallest bit of business development? Firstly, we're going to call her Faye. Thank you for asking this. Because I think that there are times where it's not our business that's draining us. Our business might be ticking along just fine. It's other things that take our energy. Maybe something's happening in your family or your health, or the uncertainty of the world has got you down, or there's events that are weighing heavily on your heart. Maybe your body's in pain. Maybe you're going through menopause. Whatever it is, it can leave you sitting at your desk wondering why you just can't seem to focus the way that you normally do, why you're not being as productive. And then we start to tell ourselves stories like, I've lost my mojo, I've lost my motivation, maybe I'm not cut out for this anymore, I should stop, I'm falling behind. Where that's not what's happening at all. You're simply carrying more than you need to be right now. And so this calls for a different question. So the question I'd love for you to ask is, instead of how do I get motivated again, it's what's one small way I can show up for my business today? And I love this question because it lowers the pressure. It's not asking you to solve everything and be superhuman. It's not asking you to launch a new program or write a month's worth of content or redesign your website. It's simply saying, how can I stay connected to my business today? And sometimes that is all you need to do. You do not need to be on fire every day. Your business doesn't need you at your best every day. Yes, it needs your care. Yes, it needs your attention. Yes, it needs your consistency. And some days you're going to make huge decisions. Some days you're going to sign up wonderful, big new clients. And other days, you're going to answer an email or two. You're going to have a meaningful conversation. You're going to follow up with someone you've been meaning to contact. You're going to spend 15 minutes thinking about your next offer. And those days matter just as much. Because every time you show up, you're reminding yourself and your business that you are still in the game. And showing up can be surprisingly small. And so if you are feeling overwhelmed by life at the moment, showing up for your business could simply mean reaching out to one past client, or sending a follow-up email, or commenting on a relevant post on LinkedIn, or writing down, not working on, just writing down 3 ideas that you have for a future promotion, or spending 20 minutes on a piece of marketing, or booking a coffee with someone you've been meaning to connect with, or reading a chapter of a book that inspires your thinking. And those books don't always have to be about business. None of these is huge, but they all say the same thing. I am still here. And sometimes that's exactly what your business needs from you. To lower the bar, not raise the bar. When life feels heavy, don't raise the bar. Lower it. Don't push. Because you want to make it easier to want to keep showing up. And there's a big difference between slowing down and taking care of yourself and stepping away and abandoning things completely. When we disappear from our business altogether, it's much harder to find our rhythm again. But when we keep one foot in, even for just 20 minutes a day, we maintain that connection. And it makes it easier to reconnect again the next day. So just be careful of the stories that you tell yourself. When I'm tired, my inner critic gets loud, and yours might too. In those days, I need to take a nap, I need to go for a walk, I need to have a cup of tea. I need to do some simple admin, things that I can just check off, that don't need me to be a high-performing individual. When we're in this state, we can say things to ourselves like, I'm losing my drive, or I don't have what it takes anymore, or everyone else is moving ahead. But those thoughts are usually reflections on how you're feeling. They're not actually true. So instead, we could say something a little more empowering to ourselves, like, I'm in a season where life outside of business is asking a little more of me. well, my energy is low right now. So right now I'm doing a lot of physical exercise and it's messing with my energy. I'm so tired so much of the time, and that messes with my thinking. And so I have to remind myself to rest and recover and not push through. That after some rest, after some pause is the most magical thing we can do in our business, things will look different. And so I have to say to myself, okay, we're going to adjust our expectations for today, but we're still here. And that feels like a kinder thing to say to ourselves. And it's also far more accurate because business is built in seasons. Every successful business owner is not productive every single week or every single day of every single year. They're just not. Every business has seasons. There are seasons for growth, seasons of creativity, seasons of consolidation, seasons of rest, and seasons of life require more of our attention sometimes than what's happening in our business. And so the goal isn't to fight those seasons, it's just to navigate them wisely. And sometimes wisdom looks like putting in the hours and working flat out. Sometimes wisdom looks like choosing one meaningful task and calling that enough. So when this episode is done, and I'm not done yet, don't write a list of 20 things you should be doing. Maybe just ask yourself, what's one small way that I can show up for my business today? Just one. Maybe it's a 10-minute task. Maybe it's 20 minutes. Maybe it's one conversation. Just do that. Tomorrow, ask yourself the same question. Because here's what I found. We often think confidence and motivation come first. That tomorrow we'll wake up feeling inspired, energized, and ready to tackle everything. But confidence often follows action, and it can be a really small action. So if life outside of business feels heavy at the moment, I hope that you'll remember this. You do not have to be at your absolute best to be a wonderful business owner. You don't have to wait until everything settles down before reconnecting with your business. If you've got a lot going on right now, you simply need to keep showing up. One email, one conversation, or one idea, or one act of care towards a client, or to yourself, more importantly. One small way to remind yourself that this business still matters to you. One of my mentors says, the more you want to give, the more you need. And by that, she means if you want to be helping all your clients and looking after your team, you need more. You need to create the conditions for yourself. And so pushing may not be the right thing. Before you know it, you're going to find your rhythm again. So I want to thank Faye so much for asking this question. I want to thank you so much for listening. If you have a question, you want me to answer it in a future Ask Suzi episode, I'd love to hear from you. Just head over to Instagram, find me at HerBusiness, and send me a direct message, and the team will make sure I get that question and we can answer it in a future episode. If this episode resonated with you, you know someone who's going through a lot, please send it on to them. And if you want to let me know that you enjoyed it, just head over to Instagram. As I said, you'll find me at HerBusiness, and you can send me a message there. Now, if you're not part of our network, which is called the Growth Network, this is exactly the kind of vibe that you can expect every day inside of our community. And that's because we're humans having a business experience, and some days are better than others. And so I always want us to be addressing not just the tactical strategies and what to do with AI and how to market our business and how to hire staff. I want us to be talking about the fact that this is a big part of our life and that things outside of work can really impact our businesses, and to support each other through that. So if you're not a member, you can join us today at herbusinessnetwork.com. Now, over on our website at herbusiness.com/374, this is episode 374, you're going to find a summary of today's episodes and links to anything that I think might be of interest to you if you enjoyed this episode. If you're new to the show, you've just joining us for the first time, hello, hit subscribe or follow wherever you're listening. And if you really enjoyed this one, I would love it if you would do me a favor and leave a rating or review on Apple Podcasts. We have dozens and dozens of reviews already, but we always love a new review, and I'll give you a shout out on a future episode. So join me next week for more inspiring stories, lessons from successful female entrepreneurs, and really practical ways to grow your business by your rules. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you next week, right here on the HerBusiness Podcast. Bye for now.